So I wanted to take this opportunity to tell a story, because anybody who knows me knows that the title of this YouTube video is probably the most hypocritical thing that I could say, because I'm not one who is very good normally at resting. I say as I'm already shifting in my chair. I'm not even good at sitting still. But I want to tell a story. And I want to preface the story with a couple of notes. I'm a strength coach. I love what I do. I am a fairly athletic individual. I love to train. And I'm a pretty neurotic individual. Have been since I was a kid. Pretty anxious child. Lots of ruminating thoughts. And exercise helps me with that a lot. Grew up very religious, and then spent several years not really very religious at all. Struggled since I was probably about 14 with an eating disorder that I didn't really know was an eating disorder until I was much older. I think those are all the pieces of information you guys need to know before I get into this topic. And it all begins when I was leaving the gym I was working at to start my own business. This sounds like the beginning of some incredible, amazing whirlwind story. The business that I was starting was going to be operating out of my mom's garage, which I still train out of, by the way. I see it very differently now, but I was going to be leaving a gym to run a full-fledged business, in-person and online training, out of my mom's garage. And I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how to do it. I had no idea anything about payment processing and LLCs and accountants and setting up a gym and liability forms. And there's a lot more that goes into running a business. I was super stressed, and I was running myself ragged because I was stressed trying to start my own business. I was stressed trying to maintain business. I was stressed still trying to have my outlet of working out and moving my body. I was stressed trying to balance family and friends. I was super in my head. I really had not a lot of belief in myself. I had so many doubts and fears. And it was something I knew I needed to do, but I was just, negative self-talk is something I am historically very skilled at. And with all that stress and anxiety, I was just searching for control. And I couldn't be still. I just kept running myself around, trying to work and plan and think of all the things that I was afraid of that could possibly go wrong, and fight for control in any way I could. And so my eating disorder got pretty bad. And I remember one day I was walking outside in my mom's neighborhood, and there's a little greenway that's within walking distance. And I was so run down. And I don't even mean that in a dramatic way. I mean, I got blood work done afterwards, and I was truly in a very bad state physiologically. Brain fog. My blood work was completely off. Severe GI issues. I was getting lightheaded. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't think straight. I was very depressed. The ruminating thoughts and the hyperfixations only increased. And it was just that day on my walk, it's like it all came up and it just exploded out of me. And I fell to my knees and I did something that I had not done in a very long time. And I called out to God. And I said, I cannot do this anymore. I cannot hear you. I don't know if you're real. But you have to be real. Because I can't take this anymore, so I need someone else to. And then this verse came back to me that I'd heard many times in church. But I saw it as more of like an authoritative, tyrannical kind of verse. And when I heard it pop into my brain, I heard it way differently. And it was, be still and know that I am God. And in that moment, I felt completely at peace. Because it didn't feel like somebody bossing me around. Be still. I'm God. I'm up here. You're down here. It felt like you can let go and you can rest and you can be still. Because you have the ability to have the faith in knowing that I've got you and I've got this under control. I know what's going on, you don't. And I've got this. And nothing radically changed in my life immediately after. But my perspective radically shifted. So that even when I was depressed, I was struggling, I was down, I was fearful, I was doubtful, there were moments where I could always come back to the notion of, maybe I just need to pause. And I can pause, and I can be still, because I don't have to have all the answers. I definitely don't have them, and I don't have to have them. And I can trust that if I continue to act in accordance with my purpose, I will get where I need to go. So I don't have to rush, because I'm rushing a timeline that I really have no control over anyways. I don't know if this is actually relatable to anyone or not, but it's just a story that I have. Yeah, I'm entering a new area of my life, a time in my life where I've actually had great success, running my business out of my mom's garage. I've made more money than I ever have in my life, and I've grown my reputation exponentially, and I love my job and I love my clients, and now I'm growing my business in an entirely new direction, and it's bringing about new fears and new challenges and new stressors, and it's cool because I have the opportunity this time to do it differently and to approach it differently and to enjoy it in a new way. And I also have the opportunity to understand that it won't all happen today or tomorrow. And that's part of the fulfillment of what I get to do, is that it takes time. And sometimes we have to be still in order to be the person that we need to be to accomplish the things that we're supposed to accomplish. So you don't need to have all the answers, and maybe sometimes the answer is to rest. I hope this was helpful for somebody. I think I'm just blabbering at this point, but